Hey weirdos, welcome back to my channel. I am EmmaAbe. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because I'm bored and I'm avoiding doing my homework and I'm waiting for my laundry to get done because it's getting cold and I don't have any pants left. Anyway, I saw this video that Brendan of BookTube did a couple weeks ago. I thought it was so entertaining that I thought I would give it a try. And basically what he does is he goes through his bookshelf and he arranges it in order of published date. And I thought that that would be extremely entertaining and fun to do. I have my bookshelf here. It was low risk because this is my very, very temporary, not permanent bookshelf. This literally comes down and collapses when I move from place to place, if it's in the US. Actually, no. So I don't really keep this as organized as I keep my real bookshelves back home. I just thought it would be a fun thing to kind of somewhat organize my books on my bookshelves. Also, if you're not subscribed to Brendan of BookTube, then you should do that because he's just having a fun time and I like his videos, and he doesn't have a lot of subscribers and he should have more subscribers, so I will link his channel information down below, as well as the video where he did the same thing that inspired me to do this one very boring Thursday night. So I've got some things to help me. I have a packet of post-it notes, it's one of those, and a pen to help me keep track of what is where. I'm going to do some predictions. I think the majority of the books that I have are going to be written in the 20th century, and I think it's going to be from the back half of the 20th century, so 1950s on. I think the next biggest category is going to be the 21st century, and I think that is going to be within the last 5 to 10 years. But I'm entirely unsure of that. I don't really know. As far as books from before that, I have a prediction that most of my anthropology books are going to be from either the 20th century and the early part of the 20th century or the 19th century. And I don't think any of them are going to be from earlier. And I'm not even sure I have with me books that were written before 1800. Yeah, so that's my guess, that I have no books with me currently that were written before 1800. So we'll see if that's true. And I'm going to go through all of the books that I have in my room, because these are not just these are not the only books that I have in my room. I have books like all over the place, and I will show you, but I will start with these for simplicity's sake. So I'm just gonna kind of pull out the books off my bookshelf and we're gonna see what's what. So first off, we have Sitting Bull, The Life and Times of an American Patriot by Robert M. Uttley. This also means I'm going to be doing a lot of looking at these pages. There's so much fun. 1993. So I'm gonna put this in my 90s pile. For the latter half of the 20th century, I'm going to be separating it by decades, and everything from the 21st century is just going to be 21st century, and anything from the 1800s is just going to be 1800s, and we'll figure it out from there. Next we have The Ugly Renaissance, Sex, Greed, Violence, and Depravity in an Age of Beauty by Alexander Lee, 2013. These are the wrong post-it notes to pick because they keep going like this. Why are all black kids sitting together in the cafeteria and other conversations about race by Dr. Beverly Daniel Tandem. Oh, this is technically republished. This is original from the 90s. Next we have The Fabric of the Cosmos, Space, Time, and the Texture of Reality by Brendan Green. Bridges of Madison County by Robert James Waller. Okay, so my first prediction of nothing published before 1800s is officially broken. Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift was originally published in 1726, so wow, I was wrong, but that's still kind of cool to know that I have one from back then. Paradise Lost by John Milton. Okay, wow. So this one also breaks it. This was originally published in 1667. Wow. Sometimes you forget that classics date back from before the 1800s. This is cool though. This is cool to figure out when stuff was published. It's fun. The Ladder Chase by Gary Razzle, 2010.
The Son of Revolution, Yang Heng and Judith Shapiro. This is written in the 1980s. 127 Hours Between a Rock and a Hard Place by Aaron Russellson. 2004. The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, finding the publication date for the Scarlet Letter was kind of difficult. It didn't have one of those normal copyright pages in it. It just had this one, which just has the publication of this specific book, not the Scarlet Letter. So I had to go through the biographical info in this little section, and it was published in 1850. So this is the first one that was published in the 1800s.
Star Trek keeps saying something about how by Nathan Archer. There's so many books. 95. Flags of Our Fathers by James Bradley with Ron Powers. 2000. Charles Dickens' Great Expectations. 1860.
Don Quixote by Cervantes. Since Don Quixote is technically 2 volumes, I'm going to go with the publication of the first volume because that was the first iteration of the Don Quixote narrative, and I guess I should have known that I was going to have some stuff from before 1800 because this was published in 1605. I think this is the oldest one that I have so far.
6 o'clock. That's a very fun sound. 1914. Not 1949. Male female study of the sexes in ancient world by Margaret Mead.
Oh, I just have piles everywhere.
Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. 1959. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. 1938. Anthropology and Modern Life by Franz Boas, who is an anthropologist. 1928. Yeah, 20 I'm not reading. Shit, poo-poo.
Moving on to the next shelf.
Marie Antoinette, A Journey by Antonia Fraser. 201, 2001. Black Elk Speaks. The beginning of my story of Holy Man and the Owen Balasu, as told through John G. Nearhart Fleeting Rainbow by John G. Nearhart Fleeting Rainbow. Oh, another book. 32. Gone with the Wind, an epic novel of our time by Margaret Mitchell. This boy's a junker. 1936. Duel with the Devil, the true story of Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, teamed up to take on America's sensational murder mystery by Paul Collins. Here we go. 2013. The War on Sex by David M. Hathaway and Trevor Hope. 2017. Vaccination. The Intergalactic Travel Bureau Vacation Guide to the Solar System by Olivia Kowalski and Jana Greenich. 2017.
I think I'm going to split up my 21st century stuff into before 2010 and stuff after. Gotta do that. Continuing.
Language and Social Context, edited by Pier Paolo Giuliani.
I am running out of space within the reachable distance.
Cahokia, Ancient America's Great City of Mississippi by Timothy R. Halkett. 2009. Professor Stewart's Case of Mathematical Mysteries by Professor Ian Stewart. 2014. Daily in the White City, Murder, Magic, and Madness, After That Changed America by Eric Larson. 2003. Beyond the River, The Untold Story of the Heroes of the Underground Railroad by Anne Hagdorn. 2002. The Raw and the Cook by Paul Westeros.
Oh, that's my laundry. It's done. I'll get it when I finish this shelf. 1964. I know I have the 60s in here somewhere. Maybe I don't. No, I do not. I have, like, all the other ones. Not the 60s. Okay, so I've done, like, the entirety of this. Except for I explored anthropology because this one's kind of a tricky case because it is a collection of essays about anthropology. I'm gonna go with the earliest, like, publication of an individual essay. And that looks to be 1983. Yeah, this is gonna go in the 80s pile, I guess. Also, I'm not gonna show you each book individually anymore because no one wants to sit through that. I don't really want to use up all the storage on my phone to do that. I'm going to show you what piles have been sorted and which ones need to be sorted next. Because yes, there be piles. First giant pile of books that I have not organized yet, and I'm counting all of these 6 piles as one giant pile. These are books that I got, most of them, at the library book sale that I went to in Cincinnati. This pile contains, over here, I step over on my books, these 2 piles. This is books that I have read, and usually I try and keep them in order, but I pulled this book out for a video, so this is the order, and then I put sticky notes in the order of when I read books that I don't have physical copies of. And then this pile is my textbooks, and I have to pull this one out frequently, so I usually put it under my I have read this month pile. Then we have Evicted over here, which is just, this books make me sad every time I look at it, because as you can see, it's severely water damaged because I was a dumbass and didn't look at the weather forecast, so it got really damaged. I have to try and figure out a way to preserve this before reading it again, because I don't want all of the stuff to flake off. Then over here we kind of have stuff on top of my dresser, and have this nice display of this bookmark that is a completely, utterly useless bookmark, but I think it's pretty, from China, university I was, and then Avatar here because I love it. And then these are all books that don't fit on my bookshelf, that are too wide. And then here is where I keep all of my books that I have read basically since I started BookTube in July. So these are all stuff from July basically till now, or at least the filming of this video. This video is being filmed like in the middle of October, so I'm sure by when this video comes out there will be many more books added to this pile, mainly the books from over there. All my other goodies from my hauls, like my TV shows and my audiobooks, I keep back there because I don't typically use them often. Those are all the piles of books that I have in my room. So in summation, I just kind of have books everywhere. I just kind of want to show you what piles that I have left to organize in my room, and I have kind of a couple. The biggest one is right by my bookshelf, and every time I take books off of my makeshift bookshelf, I put them into a have read pile that's also in my room, and then I put books from those piles onto the bookshelf. Okay, all the ones with the sticky notes, I know you can't read the sticky notes, but those are all the ones that sorted, but I'll basically sum it up for you. All of these like little piles are kind of as I predicted. It's all stuff, well, some of the stuff is from before the 1800s, and lots of the stuff from the first half of the 20th century is in very low piles. And you do have stuff from the 90s. This pile is from the 90s, and that does have a significant amount of books. And then these 2 piles here, those 2 are both written from 2000 and beyond. This one is from 2000 to 2009, and then this one, this giant pile that's gonna fall over, is all stuff from 2010 to now. So I think I might break this one up into 2 more piles just to keep it from falling the fuck over. So I made a dent. This is the stuff that was written in the last 10 years. Yeah, that's a lot. All the stuff written in the last 20 years, so everything in the 21st century. Well, that's so weird to say. I think I'm gonna split up because that pile is also getting very big. But yeah, some of the other piles have grown. Some of them haven't. No new piles were created. We're gonna keep going. Holy crap, there's so many books. Look at that. This is just the stuff from the 21st. No, this is just the stuff from the last decade. Look at all those books. Cleared out this section entirely. Yay. This stuff. We're gonna handle this stuff now. And then we tackle that corner. Oh my god, I love Something Rotten. It's such a good musical. I'm over here because I've cleaned off all of the stuff on my desk, and we're gonna start with these I have read books and the big books. So let's go. So I've cleared off the stuff I've read, and I'm going through the bigger books, and I got to the Holy Bible. This boy. I think I'm gonna go with when this translation was first published, because we basically do not know when the Bible was first written down. We're just gonna go with this specific translation of this Bible. Okay, so I finally organized all of my books, and oh my god, so look at all the stuff published literally in the last decade. Wow. Literally bending. That's not straight. That's crazy. Here are all of the other books in their piles. It's just like once we hit the 90s, it just skyrockets. And then I've got some more books on my bed just because they are bigger, more awkward sizes, and I didn't want to squish them up here and have them at risk of being broken. Now I think what we're going to do is arrange these in the correct order. And then I'm going to be putting stuff on my bookshelf from oldest to newest. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know where I'm going to put all the other books that do not fit on my shelves because clearly it's not all going to fit. That'll be an experiment, and then I'll show you like the final product. So I've organized these. So now I'm going to start putting the earliest books up on my bookshelf. And the first one is Don Quixote. And then we are just going to go through the rest of them from there. So I will update you later. I have all of the books from the 1600s all the way up the 1900s, and I still have a little bit of room. So I'm thinking that some of the books that I got that are from 2000 to 2005 will end up on the shelf. Then the others, I don't know, we're just gonna experiment and see what happens. I did it. I organized it from first published to last published. You guys want to see? So first we have this bookshelf, which contains everything basically from the 1600s all the way down. We've got stuff all the way up to the end of the 1900s, and then we've got a little bit of stuff from the 2000s right there in the end, starting with the wide window. And then I ran out of bookshelf space, so I decided to just line the rest of the books up along floor, and then I continued up on my desk for a little bit, and then I hopped over to my other prominent shelf space, and this goes basically all the way up until 2019. Whew, that was crazy. I did it. They're all in order. Let's do some reflecting. Let's circle back to the predictions that I had at the beginning of this video and see whether they are true or not. So I didn't write these down, so yell at me in the comments if I didn't answer a prediction, and I will answer the prediction and pin it up in the comment section. So my first prediction that I remember is that I wouldn't have any books prior to 1800 basically, and that was a lie. I had three prior, which was surprising. And then we started with Frankenstein, which is 1818, and then we continue. I also predicted that I would have majority of the books from the 20th century be from the second half, and I think you could say I successfully predicted that. I had 8 books before 1950, and they're all right here, starting with War and Peace and then ending at Male and Female. And the rest of these are all 1950 and beyond, but I also predicted that a lot of them would be, I think, from 1990. That was also true. I had about 23 books from 1990. And then, of course, I also predicted that the vast majority of my books would be from the 21st century. That's true. I literally had to segment it out into 5 years because from 2000 to 2004, I had 18 books. From 2005 to 2009, I had 19 books. Then from 2010 to 2014, I had 29 books. From 2015 to 2019, I had 36 books. And they're all over there or along here. How do I feel about this arranging method? I mean, if you want to arrange your books this way, then it's fine. I just ran into some problems with my particular bookshelf because I have a lot more books than I have bookshelf space. I kind of ran out of room to like display them nicely. I could do this thing where I like stacked them, and I stacked them by like 5 years, and that would be relatively okay. It would get kind of absurd when we talk about books from 2015 on, because that's 39 books stacked up, so I'd have to find like a slightly different method. I also ran into issues like this. This book, it's too wide to fit comfortably on my bookshelf. It just kind of sits up here, and then this book isn't even in the right place. It's pretty damn close to the right place. Like, it's supposed to be like like the second to last book on the bookshelf, but it doesn't even fit like any weight whatsoever on this bookshelf. Do I think I'm gonna keep it this way? No. Do I think I'm gonna rearrange it all right now? No. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do things like pull out all my textbooks because I like to keep my textbooks together. Probably gonna pull out all my souvenir programs and keep all those together. I want to pull out my TBR stuff. I'm also probably gonna pull out all of the books that I have read this year. Do I think you guys should do this? If you're feeling adventurous, go ahead. I think it's interesting to see a chronology of things, but you don't also need to rearrange all your books. And I think depending on how many books you have, that makes it more difficult. Let me know what you think. I personally, my favorite way to arrange my bookshelves is by genre. I really like having all of the books about the same genre together because then it makes it easier if I'm really interested in studying science or reading a science books. I can just have all my science books in one place. I've tried different ways before. I've done alphabetical. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Give it a like, share, subscribe. Also, something I've been realizing, I need to tell you about my social media stuff. Follow me on the social medias. It's all in the description below. Let me know if you guys do this too, and then leave a link to your video because I find it very entertaining and there's just so many books, at least that I have. I could add this all up for you guys, but I'm not good at math, so we're not gonna do that. And I don't have a calculator with me right this second. Now I just want to go to bed. Special events, I will pay full price, but I have a limit. I completely agree with you, Brendan. This is exhausting. Why did I do this? I don't know. You warned me and I was a dumbass. I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot to move the toilet paper.